Hey, I'm crazy, and I'll be talking about my thoughts on modern anime. Oh dear lord. Um, so today, I think most modern anime, at least for today's standards, is just basically quick cash grabs, or just greenlit anything. Like, for goodness sake, timing. Excuse me. Rental Girlfriend is getting a third bloody season. Oh my god. May our souls help us. Plus, it's just like a lot of like repeat second seasons that come from animes that aired years and fucking years, only had one season, was adapted, and then hey, look, let's just get thrown a second season because why? We're running out of a bunch of another world reincarnation isekai get ran over by a truck, ooh kawaii kind of junk. I don't know. But essentially, it's just to me, and there's also like Bleach and all that. But I'm just talking about most of these. Like, there's not, or at least to me, there's hardly any good ones. The ones that I think are probably pretty good are originals, because I can rather at least read the source material, because I know I'll probably get a little bit more substance and possibly like more quality, clarity, etc. Normally, I can get a better season, well, not better season, excuse me, better, just a longer story, continuation. Like, I never, because I think now instead of me personally just wanting to watch a new anime series instead, the only like one that I know I watched recently in recent memory is The Witch from Mostly Gundam, The Witch from Mercury. That one was absolutely phenomenal. I say it's 10 out of 10. Obviously the pacing is a little bit lax in the story, but that's just me. I like that. I'm a who doesn't love a Yuri Gay Gundam? Let's go. Okay. But essentially, like, everything's just getting multiple seasons, the same popular stuff getting more seasons, which I get, they're popular and all that. I just never found an appeal with Jujutsu Kaisen or Jobless Reincarnation. I watched that first season, I read a little bit of the manga, but I cannot get into it because, oh my god, there is just too much degeneracy into that particular, I guess, series. Or, I guess, author, because apparently, my god, I do not like Rudius. Oh my god, he is such a creep in so many regards. Don't get me wrong, I like the animation and all that. The story is telling wonderfully. I just hated how they basically gave Rudius, a 30-year-old man who apparently, from what I saw through several internet searchings plus etc. and also reading the source material. Well, not source. I haven't read the light novel, but basically reading the manga, which I know is adapted from the light novel slash web novel, whatever the order of operations that is. But the I think I think it's fine, but I would personally would rather that the author actually didn't write a fucking 30-year-old like creepy old guy who basically was lusting after basically lollies and children in some regards, which I get. People are going like, oh, it's just a drain, it's just an extra. Technically, yes and no. Yes, I'm going to heavily freaking criticize you because it's weird and just gross and disgusting when you want to say, yes, I love this child, I love this 3,000-year-old dragon old lolly lady freaking thing of a bob cheese curls. Like, I I don't know. Like, I get he would eventually change and grow over a character, but really, like, when I read to the where he let's just say slept with his first cousin at the age of 10 years old. Um, yeah, that's not a very good look to me. Because my God, I don't people are just whack, especially when it comes to anime fans in general. Which I want to do a whole like thing about that eventually, but like there's a bunch, like I'm just looking at Summer 23, and there's some good things. Like, I would suggest like the Eminence in the Shadow second season, which I'm not sure what the first season adapted yet, but I do plan on watching it. If I would assume probably the first two light novel volumes, considering that this one would be via, from what I was looking at, it's probably gonna be volumes 4 and 5 and 6, but I don't know if volume 5 is officially translated into English yet, so I gotta read volume 4 though. And then Rent a Girlfriend season 3, because like we need more of that freaking just absolute steaming pile of a dumpster trash, buckets of cheese. Bungo Stray Dogs 5th season, never seen it. I don't really care about it. And a lot of people's like, watch this, watch that, but I'm just not interested. It's just most of the stuff is either like generic isekai or whatever, and you gotta like set yourself apart. Or, like the only one, actually, the only isekai that I probably would consider people watching is basically I reincarnated as a vending machine. That is like meme levels, and I love it, even though it's probably not rated entirely high on Mal, but I think Mal in itself is just a cesspool of circle jerking people who's like, yes, Full Metal Alchemist, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is like the absolute goat, and to me, I just never understood the appeal. It never caught on to what I think is good. Like I like more mecha slash real robots compared and like some rom-coms, fantasy, sci-fi, that kind of stuff I like. But I just never understood a full appeal to a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Like I can understand people liking it. It's just not my kind of thing. I just didn't have a full much enjoyment with it. Because there's also like other there's also like more rom-coms and all that. There's just more overpowered stuff. There's a game anime adaptation, other isekai that's basically, wow, this guy's level 1. He died overworking for working in a black company, and all of a sudden he's just in another world living his best life, and all of a sudden he has like 5 gazillion girls. Oh yeah, we gotta mention there's a cat girl, there's a beast girl, there's a slave. You know, did I mention slaves? My god, I don't want. And then there's also the villainous, the last boss one. Oh my god, that one was. Yeah, so there was one that I'm looking at. Yeah, so the most radical last boss, Queen from Villainous to Savior. I read like the first light novel and I did not have much enjoyment. It's just simply because like they literally basically one chapter will be explaining the character's point of view, the main point or first person point of view of this main character, which is the villainous. And then eventually, and then they'll just do like another chapter. But this time, it's going to be the same scene, but as a different character. And I was so just annoyed and upset. I'm just going to say, screw it. I am just going to skip several pages so I can read just the main character. I don't want to read the same scene. Just add a little bit more context. Like, I get having a little bit more context is fine, but do not like write the entire scene from a different character's perspective when we already read it. That just to me makes no sense. But I mean, that's all I know. But essentially, I would get back to most of the stuff just seems like just normal generic things that I can literally guess and possibly get an almost accurate thing. Like based on like tags and the synopsis and all that. Like some of these I've read in the manga / light novels, depending on whichever one it is, but it just doesn't like matter to one. There's also like level 1 Demon Lord and One Room Hero or whatever that's called, and that seems dumb to me. I tried reading it, didn't understand. Like most of these that I'm seeing, there's like usually it's just supernatural or fantasy, which I get like Japan has a whole like escapism fetish, I guess. I don't freaking know, but you know, in the spy classrooms I can see like mostly like at least this upcoming one and a couple of ones later, it's usually like newer ones that people always like, ooh, I'm gonna hype this up. Have you heard about this new one? Have you heard about this new one? Ooh, how about Kaiju number 8? Let's get that one trending and animated, and it's gonna be replacing the big 3 of like One Piece, give me, and all that stuff. Like, I understand that certain things are popular and all that, but like to me, just everything seems like overly hyped, especially with a bunch of other stuff too. But I don't know, because like with going down to like fall 23, like there's Shield Hero season 3, which I'm surprised that still is fairly popular. Spy Family season 2. I also never understood the appeal of it. I read the first chapter. I watched like the first 3 episodes. I thought the first 3 episodes were fine. They were pretty good, but that was about it. I think it was like Thursday. I don't know. I definitely watched the first. I know I definitely watched the first one, Spy Family. But I just never watched anything. I don't think further from like like when they started getting into the school or whatever. Because to me, that just immediately like just did not appeal to me. I get that something else, but it just to me like it just started going back to like haha sim joke where ooh, the Anya is a spy, not a spy. Anya is a telepathic thing just to exist solely for comedic moments and go or what oh I don't know dad's a spy and mommy's an assassin. Ooh, what are we gonna do? And then like Doctor Stone, like I didn't mind. I actually like Doctor Stone. I mean, the ending of the manga was just yeah, but I think the animation's good and all that. Like that's another thing. Like people, at least when it comes to anime, like they immediately write off CG as like a bad thing in anime, which I get. People's like, oh, with a amount of janky CG, it's not like Marvel-esque like level of god tier CGI, computer generated material. Wow, it looks super realistic and all that. But I mean, you keep in mind the anime industry also is part of the like animation industry, which the animation industry just sucks in general in terms of just treating their employees and people who actually make the animated works properly work completely fine. Like there's also Faraway Paul in season 2, Fear In at the end or whatever that was called, the whatever it's called, the yeah that one. And Seven Deadly Sins spin-off. Like we need a third. What's not a spin-off? But like the third season, which I honestly thought was I never watched it. I stopped. I don't remember which season that was just basically laughably bad animation. Someone actually did like a fan animation that actually looked way better. There's also there's Girlfriend and Girlfriend season 2. Oh my god, like some of these are just basically like some of these I swear are just wish fulfillment, or at least most of the like source materials are just like wish fulfillment fantasies, or like oh my god I wish they could be like this, or basically like how people relate themselves to Cosmo from Kung Fu. It's like oh my god he's just like me for real FR no I mean that'd just be this beta alpha chat I believe in no no like I think Kung Fu is fine, but it's just it's parody and dumb, but I don't like the certain things about it, and some of the fandom just sexualizing some of the characters, which they're canonically supposed to be underage, so you shouldn't do it. But that's also another thing I can get into later, but who knows? Because there's also like other stuff. Like the only ones that I probably would be interested are usually just studio originals or originals that don't have a like adapted previously already set in stone story, or like ones that are actually at least in the shoujo genre that isn't like freaking unrealistic huge boobs and everything else. Ooh, woo. Like don't get me wrong, I'm fine with like just that, but please just kind of like don't make it at least realistic in some regards. Like I understand people are horny, especially weebs and other anime fans. They're horny, like just horny on like 24/7. They only care about like let's just sexualize a bunch of these like women, girls. Like literally, if you find any fan artist websites, there will be an existing Rule 34. It does not matter. You will have Rule 34 stuff of any anime character, regardless, in any kind of media. The one I'm actually looking forward to, actually, that is coming in, or at least the same as fall 2023, in Shangri-La Frontier, which I really like, despite, yes, it's basically like, ooh, it's an SAO clone and all that. I want to looking forward to that one, and I think it's going to be pretty decent. And then 100 Girlfriends, the absolute memery of it, that's interesting, I guess. I mean, obviously it's not the greatest, but it's a nice, like, meme-worthy show, I guess. There's also many other stuff. Like, some of it is good, some of it is bad, but it's just, most of it seems like just, hey, we're going to do one season and forget about it. Like, only the super mega popular shonen-esque ones are just going to keep getting adapted, and it does not matter anyways, because hey man, we're gonna have just more and more Rent a Girlfriend. Hey, like we need more of that dumpster fire.